what it was really like to live as a pirate, a slow cinematic narration. The ship does not stop moving. Even when the sea is calm, it moves, slowly, constantly. This is the first thing every new pirate learns. There is no stillness at sea. You sit on the deck, your back against the mast. The wood is rough. It presses into your spine. The lantern beside you flickers, not because of the wind, but because the ship itself is breathing. You listen, not for enemies, not for orders, just listening. Time at sea does not move forward. It circles. On land, time goes somewhere. At sea, it does not. Morning feels like yesterday. Night feels like last week. Weeks blend together until you stop counting. No calendar. No schedule. Only watches. 4 hours awake. 4 hours asleep. Again. And again. And again. The body adapts, the mind does not. Your body learns the ship. Your legs adjust to the sway. Your hands harden. Your skin cracks and stops hurting. But your mind never fully adapts. Every creak sounds like a warning. Every shadow feels alive, especially at night. Night on a pirate ship. Night is not dark. It is blue, deep, heavy, endless. Clouds cover the stars. The horizon disappears. The sea and the sky become the same thing. This is when men grow quiet. Not because they are calm, but because their thoughts grow louder. You stand watch. Alone. Your eyes strain into nothingness. You see shapes that are not there. You hear sounds that never repeat. Your hands stay close to your weapon. Not because you expect battle, but because doing nothing feels worse. The lantern. The lantern is small. Its light does not reach far. But what it does reach, it changes. Faces look older. Eyes look deeper. Scars look darker. Men who laugh during the day avoid eye contact at night. This is when memories return. Things the sea tries to erase. Memory is dangerous. A pirate does not survive by thinking about the past. But at night, memory does not ask permission. You remember a name, a street, a voice. You remember a version of yourself that does not exist anymore. And that realization hurts more than hunger. The smell never leaves. The ship smells like damp wood and old salt. Sweat soaked into fabric months ago. Food rotting slowly in barrels. Gunpowder clinging to the air. You stop noticing it. Until you go ashore. And everyone else does. That is how they know who you are. Silence between men. Pirates talk less than stories suggest. Words are expensive at sea. Silence is safer. You learn to read. Shoulders. Breathing. The way someone grips a cup. Arguments do not start loudly. They start quietly. When tension builds. A missing biscuit. A longer stare. A hand too close to a blade. This is how crews fall apart. Not in battle, but in boredom. That is why rules exist. Not for fairness. For survival. Illness is feared more than enemies. When a man coughs too long, others move away. Not out of cruelty. Out of fear. There is no cure at sea. Only time. And the sea takes its time. When someone dies, the process is quick. No speeches. No tears shown. The body is wrapped. Weighted. Returned. The splash is small. And then the ocean closes. As if nothing happened. Storms change everything. A storm does not arrive dramatically. It grows. The wind sharpens. The waves thicken. The air tightens. Orders become screams. Hands bleed on rope. Water fills boots. There is no bravery here. Only endurance. Some ships do not survive storms. Not with fire. Not with noise. They simply disappear. After the storm. The deck is damaged. Men are injured. The ship feels older. So do you. But the watches continue. Because stopping means dying later instead of now. Why they stayed? This is the question everyone asks. Why stay? Because on land, there is punishment. There is memory. There is no forgiveness. At sea, you are already condemned, which is strangely freeing. Piracy is not hope. It is acceptance. A pirate does not believe in a future. He believes in today, in the next hour, the next watch, the next breath. That is enough. The truth no one admits. Most pirates are tired. Not drunk. Not wild. Just tired. Tired of running. Tired of orders. Tired of pretending there is another path. The hours that stretch too long. There are hours on a pirate ship that feel longer than entire years on land. Nothing happens. No orders. No wind strong enough to matter. No ships on the horizon. Just movement without progress. The sun climbs slowly, then stops feeling like it moves at all. You shift your weight. Your muscles ache not from work, but from waiting. Waiting is exhausting in a way action never is. Men and their thoughts. During these long hours, men begin to change. Some become quieter than usual. Others talk too much, filling the silence with useless words. A few stare at the water for far too long. This is when the mind starts creating its own enemies. Regret. Anger. Questions with no answers. You learn quickly that thinking too deeply is dangerous. But stopping yourself is harder than anyone admits. The ocean up close. From the deck, the ocean looks endless. But when you lean over the side, it feels close. Too close. You see the water sliding past the hull. Dark. Heavy. You know what waits below. Not monsters. Not myths. Just depth. And the understanding that if you fall, the ship will not stop. No one will jump after you. Not because they don't care, but because they can't afford to. Food again and again. Meals never change. The same taste. The same texture. Food becomes fuel, nothing more. You stop enjoying it. You stop hating it. You simply eat. Some men save small pieces, hiding them away. Not for later hunger. For the feeling of control. Small joys that mean everything. Occasionally, something breaks the routine. A joke that actually lands. A song hummed quietly. A story from a life before the sea. These moments do not last long. But they matter more than gold. Because for a brief second, the ship feels less like a prison and more like a place where humans still exist. Trust is thin. On a pirate ship, trust is practical, not emotional. Do you trust a man to hold a rope, watch your back in a fight, follow the rules? You do not trust him with your fears. Everyone is too close to desperation. The constant awareness. Even in calm moments, part of you stays alert. Your ears listen for changes in the wind. Your eyes scan the horizon without thinking. This never stops. Not during rest. Not during laughter. Not during sleep. The sea teaches this discipline brutally. When night returns, eventually night comes back. Not suddenly. Slowly. The sky darkens into deep blue. Clouds thicken. The lantern is lit again. And the cycle repeats. Another watch. Another stretch of darkness. Another night closer to an ending no one names. What a pirate learns too late. After enough time, a pirate learns something simple. This life does not harden everyone. Some men break quietly. They don't scream. They don't rebel. They just fade. Their eyes lose focus. Their reactions slow. They become shadows of themselves. And one day they're gone. Overboard. Illness. Or a fight that didn't need to happen. The sea does not remember. The ocean keeps no record. It does not honor courage. It does not punish cruelty. It takes everyone the same way. That knowledge changes a man. It makes some crueler, others calmer. Most simply accept it. The shadows stretch longer. Days blend into nights, nights into days. You lose track of how long you have been at sea. Hours stretch like shadows in the lantern light. The sun climbs lazily, then refuses to set. Time becomes a loop, a spiral, a cage. You notice the shadows on the deck. They move without reason. They cling to the corners of your vision. Sometimes you swear they watch you. Sometimes you speak to them. No one hears. No one asks. The wind speaks. There is a language in the wind. It whispers through the rigging, through the sails, through the cracks in the wood. The older men listen differently. The younger ones scoff. But the wind never lies. It tells of storms approaching, of calm seas deceiving, of a ship's weaknesses. You begin to hear it too. At first faintly, then insistently. Eventually it becomes impossible to ignore. Salt on your skin. Salt is everywhere. On your hands, your face, in your hair. It stings cuts that should have healed. It burns when it mixes with sweat. You stop washing. You stop noticing. The salt becomes part of you. Part of your smell, part of your body, part of your identity. Unsure, people flinch. You cannot help it. The quiet madness. Sometimes in the long stretches of nothingness, the mind begins to twist. Small mistakes become epic catastrophes in your imagination. The ship groans. A rope snaps. A sail flutters. Each sound is amplified, each shadow elongated. Men talk to themselves. Laugh. Cry. Whisper apologies to things that do not exist. Yet some adapt. Some accept the endless motion. Some learn to sleep while standing, while tying knots, while listening. They are ghosts on the deck, alive only enough to survive. The sea tests you. Storms do not merely test the ship. They test patience, endurance, courage. The ship tilts. Water pours over the railings. Men scream. Men pray. Men curse. And still the ocean does not relent. It does not care about your bravery. It does not care about your plans. It only demands you continue. The wounds you carry. A cut on your hand, a bruise on your shoulder, a burn on your leg. They are constant reminders, not of battle, but of living. Every scar tells a story. Every ache is proof you survived another day, another storm, another night of listening to the lantern flicker. The small things. Sometimes it is nothing that matters. A drop of rain on your face. The cry of a gull far away. A cup of lukewarm tea. A quiet laugh shared between two men who know no one else would understand. These moments, brief as they are, shine brighter than gold in the endless monotony of the sea. The eye of the storm. Some storms are quiet before they scream. Some storms are sudden and merciless. The eye is calm. A pause. A heartbeat. And then the chaos returns. Men who were confident moments ago are broken. Sails are shredded. Ropes snap. Water fills the deck. And yet when it ends, the men are still alive. More tired, more worn, more aware. But alive. The ship becomes a body. The ship is alive. Not in a way you can talk to. Not in a way you can reason with. It moves under you, around you, against you. Its creaks are its size. Its sails are its lungs. Its hull is its skin. To survive, you must become part of it. To fail is to fall into its indifferent maw. The night again. Night returns again and again. A blanket of blue over everything. A mirror of your own thoughts. It asks questions you cannot answer. It shows faces you thought you had forgotten. It whispers the names of the lost. And yet it is beautiful. Terrifying, yes. But beautiful. The unseen enemies. Enemies are not only on other ships. They are within you. Doubt. Fear. Anger. Regret. They grow in the quiet hours. They gnaw at the edges of your mind. Sometimes louder than cannon fire. Sometimes softer than a whisper. And if you do not fight them, they will destroy you faster than any sword. The moment before dawn. Before dawn, the sea is darkest. Even darker than the deepest night. The horizon disappears entirely. You feel small, fragile, fleeting. But in that moment, there is clarity. You know your place. You know what you can control. And you know what the sea will never allow you to forget. The burden of memories. Memory returns uninvited. A laugh from long ago. A hand held once and lost. A home you can no longer reach. You carry them silently. Sharing them is impossible. Speaking them aloud is dangerous. The sea does not forgive sentiment. It only tolerates endurance, the endless sea. The sea stretches forever. Not because it is infinite, but because it swallows all markers of time. Days pass, but you cannot feel them. The sun rises. The sun sets. Yet on deck, it is always the same. You wake. You eat. You tie ropes. You watch. You sleep. And then you wake again. The rhythm never stops. It does not pause. It does not care about your exhaustion. The quiet crew. Men are shadows. Some speak too much to avoid the silence. Some speak nothing at all, eyes fixed on the horizon. Every man carries his own battles, not with other ships, not with the sea, but with himself. You learn to read them. A twitch of the hand, the grip on a knife, a quick glance at the sky. These signs are more dangerous than cannon fire. The crew forms unspoken alliances. They argue in whispers. They compete quietly. They survive. Together but alone, the storm approaches. You feel it first in your chest. The air thickens. The wind changes tone. The sails strain. The horizon darkens. Your stomach twists. The older men already know what to do. The younger men panic silently. Orders become yells. Ropes cut hands. Men slip on wet decks. The ship groans under the weight of waves. Water pours overboard. The storm does not forgive. It does not reason. Some ships do not survive. They disappear. No trace remains. No story. No warning. But your ship endures. Barely. And when the storm passes, the men are quiet. The deck is soaked. The sails torn. The wood bruised. And still, life continues. The night that stretches. Night after night, the darkness thickens. The lantern flickers, casting shadows that play tricks on your mind. Eyes in the shadows. Shapes in the waves. The wind whispers secrets. You listen even when nothing is there. Sleep becomes a stranger. The mind refuses rest. Memory returns uninvited. Names. Streets. Voices. Faces long gone. You clutch your weapon. Not for enemies. Not for battle. But to anchor yourself. To remind yourself you are still alive. The silence of death. Death is quiet. Too quiet. One moment a man stands. The next he does not. No screams. No warning. The sea swallows him and the ship moves on as if nothing happened. You feel the weight of it. The guilt. The relief. The inevitability. The ocean does not mourn. It does not remember. It only accepts the small joys. Even in the endless monotony, moments appear. A shared laugh. A song hummed quietly on a calm night. A piece of bread saved for no reason but control. These are rare. They are fragile. They are gold. And when they disappear, you remember them for weeks. The body and the mind. The body adapts. Legs balance without thought. Hands harden. Skin grows tough. The mind never adapts. Every shadow is alive. Every sound a threat. Every day a challenge. You endure because endurance is the only law here. The horizon. The horizon is constant. A promise and a threat. It beckons. It terrifies. It reminds you that the sea will never change. You, however, do. You age. You tire. You forget who you once were. And yet you continue. The final watch. Eventually you stand on the deck alone. The lantern flickers beside you. The wind is calm, but you are not. Your mind wanders to the dead, to the lost, to the forgotten. And you realize survival is memory. Memory of what was endured. Memory of what was lost. Memory of what you have become. The sea remains indifferent. It does not care. It does not change. It does not stop. And in that indifference you find clarity. The freedom that pirates speak of in whispers. Not the freedom of land, not the freedom of wealth, but the freedom of existing, of being alive, in the moment. And that is enough. The sea remembers nothing. The ocean remembers nothing. It does not honor courage. It does not punish cruelty. It only takes and returns. And in this truth, a pirate learns nothing matters. Everything matters. Life is the storm. Death is the calm. And in between you endure. The endless cycle. Sunrise. Sunset. Storms. Calm. Life. Death. Endurance. The ship moves. The men endure. The sea remains. And you continue. Because at sea, that is all you can do. And in doing so, you are alive. The sea never sleeps. The ship moves slowly, always. Even when the sea is calm, it moves. Your body rocks with it. Your eyes follow the horizon, endless and soft. You sit quietly on the deck. The wood presses into your back, firm but steady. The lantern flickers gently beside you. Its light dances slowly as if breathing with the ship. The wind is soft. Not a roar, not a threat. Just a whisper. You listen. Not for danger. Not for orders. Just listening. Time floats. Days feel like nights. Nights feel like weeks. The sun rises, the sun sets, but time is a circle here. You move through watches, 4 hours awake, 4 hours asleep, again and again. The rhythm is steady, predictable, comforting in its constancy. The body remembers. Your hands know the ropes. Your legs balance without thought. Your skin has grown used to salt and wind. The mind remembers. Shadows, shapes, soft noises. It whispers memories, gentle reminders of life beyond the sea. The night is blue. Night comes softly. It wraps the ship in a deep blue calm. The stars hide behind clouds. The horizon blends with the waves. You breathe slowly. You watch the lantern flicker. The quiet between the men feels like a rhythm. Slow. Safe. Even in the dark. The sea does not rush. The waves move steadily. The ship rocks slowly. Nothing hurries here. Even storms arrive with time, building gradually, then fading, leaving the calm in their wake. The small joys. Sometimes a small laugh drifts across the deck. A song hummed quietly. A hand resting on a rope just so. A sip of lukewarm tea. These small things remind you that life continues, even in motion, even in uncertainty. Even at sea, the pirate knows life is not about tomorrow, not about riches or fame. It is about this moment, this breath, this gentle sway, this slow rhythm. And in that understanding, there is peace. The sea moves. The ship moves. You move with it. And you can rest. The shadows of the deck. Shadows stretch across the deck. They are long, soft, and slow. They move gently with the lantern light, never harsh, never sudden. You notice them without thinking. They feel like old friends, quiet companions of the night. The smell of the sea, the scent of salt lingers in every corner. It mixes with damp wood, old rope, and faint traces of the day's meals. You stop noticing it after a while. But when the wind shifts, it returns. Familiar, soft, constant. A reminder that you are still here, still moving, still alive. The quiet between men. Men sleep in hammocks or sit quietly against the mast. Their breathing is slow, rhythmic. Even in their rest, they move with the ship. The silence is not empty. It hums. It feels like a heartbeat shared across the crew. The waves speak. The waves speak softly tonight. Not in crashes, not in fury. Only gentle lapping, brushing the hull, rocking the ship as if it knows you are listening. You hear the rhythm. You feel the sway. And it is enough. The night air. The night air is cool. It brushes your skin gently. You pull your coat closer. You breathe in slowly. The salt, the wood, the distant sound of waves all blend into a quiet melody. The lanterns dance. The lantern sways beside you. Its light stretches and shrinks, slow and steady. It touches faces, hands, ropes, and wood. Every flicker is soft, a tiny pulse in the dark. You follow it with your eyes, letting it carry you. The long moment. There is no hurry, no urgency, only motion, only the slow, steady rhythm of the ship. Your mind drifts. Your body drifts. The world becomes gentle. Even the thoughts you cannot quiet are softened. The sea remains. The sea continues endlessly. It is patient, constant, and calm tonight. It rocks the ship, and in turn it rocks you. Everything moves together. Nothing needs to be rushed. Your breath, your body. You breathe in time with the waves. Inhale, exhale. Your hands rest. Your legs rest. Your back rests against the mast. Everything is steady. Everything is slow. And for a while, just for a while, the world feels small, Safe and gentle, the gentle rocking. The ship rocks slowly, not violently, not harshly, just a steady, endless motion. Your body moves with it without effort. Your muscles relax. The soft whispers. The wind whispers softly through the sails. It brushes past your ears. It carries the faint sound of waves and the quiet breathing of the crew. It does not rush. It does not demand. It simply exists. The cradle of the deck. You lean back against the mast. The wood is solid, steady beneath you. It holds you as the ship sways. Your eyes follow the shadows on the deck, the flicker of the lantern, the gentle movement of ropes in the breeze. Everything is slow. Everything is soft. The sea's song. The waves lap against the hull. The rhythm is gentle and endless. A low, calming hum, as if the sea itself is singing you to rest. Each sound blends into the next, creating a melody you do not need to follow, only feel. The quiet moments. Sometimes a laugh drifts softly across the deck. Sometimes a faint song from a distant watch. A hand brushes a rope with practiced care. A small sip of water or tea. These tiny moments float quietly, like little islands of calm in the endless sea. The nights embrace. The sky is deep blue. Clouds drift slowly, lazily. Stars hide behind their soft cover. The horizon blurs into the water. Everything is gentle, constant, and slow. You feel yourself drifting with it, part of the movement, part of the quiet, the long breath. You inhale, slowly. You exhale, slowly. Each breath matches the rhythm of the ship. The sway, the flicker of light, the soft lapping of waves. Inhale, exhale. The world outside the ship grows distant. The thoughts that tug at you soften. The quiet grows deep and comforting. The night continues. Minutes, hours, perhaps more, pass without concern. Time feels suspended, wrapped around the lantern's soft light and the gentle movement of the deck. Nothing needs to be hurried. Nothing demands your attention. Only the slow, steady rhythm of the ship and the endless, quiet sea. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.